Welcome back to another episode of Black Girl Confessions. Hi, hello, welcome. And let me start this episode off by showing my gratitude, I think, first and foremost. I have been blown away by people's responses, by the love, by the messages, the DMs, the feedback I'm getting. I wasn't sure whether doing this was the right move for me. I didn't know whether this was something I wanted to pursue, whether this was something that I was going to do in the long run, right? And I'm glad I did. I am glad that I have stuck by what I wanted to do, because this has proven to be the very best thing I've ever done. This has proven to be so rewarding, so fruitful, so I can't put it into words. It has made me feel a lot better about putting myself out there, basically. It's made me feel a lot better about picking up the camera, picking up a microphone and just yapping to you guys, because I think when you do something that's new and you don't know whether people are going to love it, having reassurance from the people who it's meant for, I think is quite nice. So thank you for making me feel better. Thank you for just being there, for supporting me, for sending in your dilemmas, for sending in your confessions. I love it. I see it all. I read it all. I try and get back to every single one of you. And I will. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on making sure that every single person gets a response from me, even if it's just a smiley face. If you get a smiley face, know that I've read it. Know that I love you, but your girl's tired. Okay? Now let's get into it. I feel like there's an epidemic of wanting to be the very best version of yourself. Now, I have yapped about it a lot of times. I have said it a lot of times, but I feel like we're taking it a bit too far. I feel like we are so obsessed with journaling, talking about how to be the very best version of yourself, these crazy skincare routines, these crazy morning routines, these crazy nighttime routines, these gym routines, the foods that we're eating, right? You can no longer just eat a bowl of fruit. It has to be like an acai bowl with like seeds and fruits and pudding and oatmeal, and you can't just have normal oatmeal anymore. You have to make it overnight oatmeal. You have to leave it in the fridge for 7 years. You have to have X amount of whatever to make you feel like you are the very best version of yourself. Whereas I feel like you don't even know who you are as a person. You don't know what the very best version of yourself is, but we are searching for it, right? We are actively trying to find this person, trying to find this thing that you're going to finally feel like, okay, now I love this person, I love who I am. And I don't believe that's going to happen. I feel like we are forever going to be in search of the next best thing, instead of really figuring out what is wrong with us. And sometimes nothing's wrong. Sometimes it's okay. So I'm dedicating this episode to, girl, you're not healing, you are hiding. Okay? You are not healing. You're not healing your traumas. You're not healing your grandma's traumas. You're not healing your mum's traumas. You are hiding. You are hiding from the fact that you're unhappy. You're hiding from the fact that maybe you want more from life and you haven't figured out how to get more from life. And you think that you are going to get more by writing in a journal every single day, every single night. You think you're going to find more by eating 7 different fruits with 7 different seeds and leaving it in the fridge for 7 fucking years, and you're not going to. You think you're going to find yourself by listening to 17 million different podcasts. Now, wait a minute. I know what you're thinking. This is a podcast. But yes, you need to listen to me, because I'm telling you, you need to stop listening to other podcasts, because they're all driving you insane. They're all selling you something. They're all selling you a course. They're selling you the next best thing that's going to make you better. This journal, this healing book. They are going to sell you something that's going to cure you. But I'm telling you right now, nothing's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you. When was the last time you stayed in bed and you slept in and you didn't wake up at 5 a.m. because you have been fed this narrative that hot girls wake up at 5 a.m.? When was the last time you laid in bed and you rested and you didn't worry about this perfect skincare morning routine? When was the last time you belly laughed and it didn't make you think, whoa, did that ruin the vibe? Did that ruin the feng shui? Did that ruin my vibrations? When was the last time you literally purely did something for yourself that made you feel good, but not supposed to make you feel good, right? Does that make sense? This whole performative of making you think you're feeling good doesn't work. Babe, we're performing. We are performing as though we're feeling good, but we're not feeling good. You are writing in a journal saying that you feel good, but what have you actually done that makes you feel good? Because I know that drinking that green grass tasting drink called matcha does not make you feel good. I know that writing in a journal for 7 hours a day does not make you feel good. I know that eating chia seeds that literally makes you shit your guts out does not make you feel good. I know that waking up at the arse crack of dawn, right, because early bird gets the worm, does not make you feel good. Having a 70,000 step skincare routine does not make you feel good. So when was the last time you did something without feeling like you had to do it, right? When was the last time you did something for yourself that made you feel good and you weren't performing? Can you name it? Because I'm listening. I want to know, because it doesn't exist. We're performing, we're acting, we want other people to think we have our ish together when we don't have our ish together, and that's okay. That's okay. You can live without writing about it. You can live without posting about it. You can live without waking up at 3 a.m. Trust me, you can wake up and still achieve everything you want to achieve without waking up at 4 a.m. You can do it. I do it. Millions of others do it. So relax. Relax. Let me point something out, and I hate to do this because I hate to be an advocate for men. I hate to shine a good positive light on them because I truly believe they ain't shit, right? But you know how we take the piss out of men for being really masculine? You know how we laugh at them and they've become a meme for toxic masculinity, right? Because they would rather die than be caught holding an umbrella and going outside. They don't want that masculinity threatened. Going outside without an umbrella does not make you less of a man, right? Having rain on you and looking like a wet dog and smelling like a wet dog does not make you a man. Holding an umbrella because you care about not being wet actually says a lot more about you in a good way than it would without an umbrella. So food for thought. But you know how they perform and act like they're this, I'm a big, strong man. We do that same shit. We perform to be this incredible, good woman. This performance that we're putting on, this little circus monkey that we pretend to be, we're no different than them. And we do that with self-development. We do that with healing, because somehow we believe that we have taken on our great-grandmother's trauma that we still need to deconstruct and talk about and journal about. No, like, let that shit go. Our ancestors were our ancestors. Their traumas were their traumas. That trauma does not affect you directly. Now, I know people say that trauma is, it trickles down, but trust and believe your great-grandma's trauma was a knuckle sandwich, was not whether you can make a nail appointment, right? You feeling like you can't get a job because your great-grandma was going through domestic violence has nothing to do with you. And I'm not taking the piss out of domestic violence at all. It's a serious matter. It's horrific. But us women, we do the same shit. We perform this whole self-development-ish, right? We want to be this very best version of ourselves. And how do we do it? We do it through journals. We do it through checklists. We do it through ridiculous morning routines. We do it through all of these extracurricular appointments that we create for ourselves that will make us believe that we are aiding to the self-development journey that we are on. It has become a billion-dollar industry. I don't know whether you've noticed it. You now have you have millions of different types of yogas. You've got a goat yoga, puppy yoga, kitten yoga. You've got all of these different ice baths that you now do. You've got all of these different foods that you're eating. You've got all of these different things that you're now injecting into yourself that will, aid to your self-development and your mood and the way you're thinking. We are now eating 70 different types of food to just feel better instead of just eating for sustenance and keeping it moving. We are writing in different books. We are talking to different therapists. We are building a whole brand around this idea and this whole aesthetic around the idea of self-development, and we are making ourselves believe, we are performing, we are making ourselves believe, right, listen to this part, that we are developing in a way, that we are getting better, that we are improving. But really, we are circus monkeys like these men. We are no different than them. We build this whole brand around the idea of becoming her, around the idea of becoming the very best version of yourself, instead of actually becoming the very best version of ourselves, instead of becoming her, instead of actually being that person that you want to be. We have this whole hoo-ha around the idea of how to get there, and you don't actually get there. And we need to dissect why. Why is it that we do this? Why do we perform? Why do we have a checklist that's like a mile long before we actually get to where we want to go. There's only so many journals you can write in. There's only so many podcasts you can listen to. There's only so many therapists you can speak to, so many smoothies you can have, so many products you can inject into yourself before you realize that all of this shit that we're doing to ourselves is not helping, right? There is no amount of wellness journals, no amount of therapy, no amount of talking about being this incredible person will get you to be that incredible person. So how do we get there? What do we do? And I believe the best way to get there is to deconstruct this whole idea of self-development. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to sit here and say I don't think that self-development works. I don't want to sit here and say self-development isn't a thing and you're never going to become the very best version of yourself without self-development, because that is not true. I do think that self-development is good for you. I think having a checklist, right, of things that you want to do to achieve a certain goal is important. I think speaking to a therapist is incredibly important. I will never sit here and tell you don't speak to a therapist, right? I will never sit here and tell you don't work on yourself. But what I want to get across to you is that you don't need 70,000 steps to get there. You don't need a gazillion different things, a gazillion different methods, a gazillion different books, journals, podcasts, and other people's influences to make you your own person, right? I think that's what we need to do. That's what we need to get rid of. That's what we need to deconstruct. We need to get rid of all of the outside noise that's going to tell you, the woman, how to be a woman. Because when I think about this whole idea of self-development and this whole idea of wellness and becoming the very best version of yourself and journaling and all of this other crap that they sell you, I believe that we are buying into a system that tells you that there's something wrong with you, that there is a system that makes you believe that you need to do X, Y, and Z to get to the version that they find acceptable. So again, it's a system put in place by other people that aren't women, so men, that tell you that you need, this course, you need this book, you need this podcast, you need this therapist to make you whole again, when really you already have the tools, you already have the ability to become the very best person you can be. So let's all enter our self-development era, right? And I say this with love, and I say this with so much thought. I don't mean don't take your meds, right? I don't mean don't speak to your therapist. I don't mean don't actively heal yourself, but I want you to know that there is more to life than consistently feeling like you need to do better and you need to be better because society's telling you so. This so-called bar that they keep raising will forever be raised. You will never be good enough. You will never be perfect. You will never be whole. You will never be fully developed if they have a say so, right? Because I do believe it's $1 billion industry. I genuinely do believe that they make so much money off the idea that we need to develop ourselves, right? They make so much money off of the idea that we need to actively perform this whole sing-song dance that they put in place for us to feel like we are actively making progress. And I think that's crazy. I think we need to be able to sit with ourselves. You need to be able to look in the mirror and think to yourself, okay, I love this person that's looking back at me. This person, this woman that sat in front of me, she's aight, she's okay, she's cool, she's cute, I like her. It took us a long time to get here, right? However many years around the sun it took you to get here, you are here. So you need to be able to sit with yourself. You need to be able to just be without having all of this extra noise that's coming in that's telling you, no, you need to be different. Because they don't want you to sit with yourself. They don't want you to feel like you can be who you are and that it's okay. And I think that's incredibly problematic. Very problematic. Think about how people used to live back in the day, right? Without all of these self-help books, without all of these medication that you're on, without all of these therapists, without all of these podcasts and courses that are being shoved down our throat 24/7. They managed to live, right? So I don't want you to think you need to let go of your values. You need to let go of your goals. You need to let go of everything that you stand for as a person. But I feel like you need to let go of this idea. You need to let go of this notion that without all of this outside noise that you can't be good. I want you to know that you can sit with yourself and you are okay. You can sit with yourself and you are enough. You can look in the mirror and say, I like the person that's looking back at me. Because at the end of the day, all you have is you. Regardless of however many books that you write in, however many podcasts you listen to, however many opinions you're getting from the internet, it's not going to change who you are. It's not going to change your love for yourself, right? And I think that's so problematic. You have what it takes to be the very best version. You've got the tools within you. You need to figure out what your goals are. You need to figure out how you're going to get there and get there. It's as simple as that. You don't need a podcast to tell you that you're great. You don't need a therapist to tell you that you're great. I can do that for free. Listen to Black Girl Confessions. I will tell you that you're fucking great every minute of the day. I'll give you my personal number. I will call you every morning and tell you, bitch, you was great. Ho, you was doing fine. Get up, go to work, eat, sleep, moisturize, because we don't want to ash you, bitch. And that's all you need. That is all you need. Big, big, big spoiler alert. Self-development and this whole self-development era that we're in basically just reiterates this idea that there's something wrong with you, right? Buy one more crystal. Listen to one more TED Talk. And I know I've said this before, and I feel like I really need to drive it home. One more crystal, one more therapist, one more pill, one more, I don't know, injection, one more smoothie, one more matcha, whatever it may be, and it'll heal you. You'll finally arrive at the destination that you need to be. You'll finally become the person that you feel like you need to be. I'm going to say it, and you might hate me, but healing is a trap. How many crystals do you need to buy before you've healed? How many books are you going to write in before you've healed? How many courses are you going to buy and listen to before you feel like you have arrived at the end destination? Spoiler alert, you are never going to fucking arrive. You're always going to need one more crystal, one more matcha, one more Lululemon set, one more Pilates session, one more of whatever you need or whatever they are selling you to get there, but you will never get there. And that is something that I think we need to actively deconstruct. Because think about it. You feel like you need to go to therapy for 8 hours a day to deconstruct the trauma that your great grandmother has because you feel like you can't date, right? You feel like something has happened to your great grandmother, which is now stopping you from being in a healthy relationship. Whereas, I don't know, the guy next door, whereas the man can be on his Xbox or PlayStation for 8 hours a day, playing Call of Duty, Fortnite, not caring about anything, and nobody will tell him that, oh, he needs to heal more. He needs to work on himself more. They are unapologetically themselves. They don't care about healing. They are out here being a menace. They are out here harassing everybody and their mama. So why can't we do the same? You need to ask yourself, who is this self-development for? Why are we consistently in this trap? And why do they not want us to sit with ourselves? Why do they not want us to be happy? Why do they want to consistently make us feel like something's wrong with us? And I think that's the message behind it, right? Feeling like you're not enough, feeling like you always need one more thing to make you complete, that there is no value to you unless you actively work on yourself. Whereas the man can be himself unapologetically, unhealed, filled with trauma, and let that trauma spill into your life and ruin your life. And then you will need to go to therapy for 78 hours. For what? For what and for who? For what and for who? That's what we need to deconstruct. That's what we need to get to the bottom of. Okay? You may ask yourself, Zainab, Z, what's the alternative? I will tell you. The alternative is coming home and not caring about doing a 78-step skincare routine. The alternative is coming home and having a shit day and not making it feel like it's the end of the world. The alternative is eating a burger at 2 a.m. because you fucking felt like it. The alternative is being okay with who you are in that present moment and not feeling like you are lacking something and not feeling like you need to do something to adjust that feeling, because who you are and how you're feeling in that very moment of time is absolutely fine. Being able to sit with yourself and being okay with who you are is the alternative. And I think that is what challenges the status quo. That is what's going to challenge the agency. What does that look like? For me personally, it means sitting in the sun, not feeling like I need to read a book, not feeling like I need to listen to a podcast, not feeling like I need to do 70 million different tasks before I sit in the sun. For you, it could be sitting in your kitchen, not cooking, having takeout because you don't care about the calories, you don't care about eating processed food, you don't care about gaining weight. It's being free from the shackles of the men. It could mean sitting in the kitchen or standing in the kitchen. It could mean singing in the kitchen. It could mean singing in your living room. It could mean watching TV till 5 a.m. It could mean binge eating, binge drinking, binge watching, all within limits. don't kill yourself, don't go overboard, but it means being free from the constraints of this whole self-development bullshit that they're feeding us consistently. That's the alternative. That's what it looks like for me, and that's what it looks like for you. Now, I have a question for you, because I feel like I've been sat here and I've been rambling for a hot minute. Have you been sat here listening to this, taking notes, writing, thinking, damn, she's making a lot of sense. Rah, she's spitting facts. What she's saying is the truth. Because if you have fucking failed. Why are you sat here with a pen listening or writing all of this down? We are not in our self-development era. We are not taking notes on how to be the very best version of yourself, because you're already the best version of yourself. Can you improve? Yes. Do you feel like you can always take steps to be a better person? Always. But I don't want you to sit here and take my word for gospel. I need you to sit with yourself, ask yourself, what do I want from life? How can I be the very best version? What do I like? What don't I like? Right? Instead of listening to somebody tell you what they think you should do. Do what you think you need to do. I think that's the takeaway from all of this. So stop hiding, stop performing, stop having all of these gazillion projects that are going to make you better. Be unapologetic, be yourself, be a menace to society, be a menace to men. Traumatize them back. If you take one thing away from this podcast today, if you take away one thing from this episode, let it be that we need to traumatize these men back. Okay? We need to make them feel what they do to us, always. My personal confession to you as we are getting to the end of this episode, I am unself-developing, right? I am unsubscribing from all of these podcasts. I have journals. I have wanted to journal. I've always wanted to be the girl that writes down all of her thoughts, all of her feelings, all of her emotions. But that's not who I am, right? Having an overnight oat is not going to make me feel better. I hate that shit. Having a matcha, it's not curing me. Tastes like booty hole. Having wellness lessons, no. I'm a woman who's filled with rage. Let me be angry. Let me scream. Let me shout. That's what I am doing. That's my personal confession to you. I am no longer subscribing to the bullshit that they are feeding us, because we deserve better, because we are better, and we will do better. I'm done being perfect. I'm done proving my worth. I'm done hiding behind projects. I'm just going to sit still. I'm going to sit in the moment, take it all in, and just be who I am. And that's it. Nothing less. Nothing more. Now, what I want you to do is think about one self-development habit that you have and leave it in the comments below. What is it that you do? What is it that makes you feel like the baddest bitch? Now, girly pops, here's my challenge for you. I need you to DM me, write me, message me, call me. Don't call me. I need you to let me know in the comments below, what is it that you do? What is this one self-development habit that you're no longer going to do? What is it that you feel like you've been doing for ages but isn't actually working? We're going to kick it to the curb. So I want you to write it in. It can be a confession. It could be an email. You can DM me on Black Girl Confessions Pod. You can message me on TikTok on Black Girl Confessions. You can write me at hello@blackgirlconfessions.com. You can write me on the website at blackgirlconfessions.com, and I will read it all. And I feel like this is something that we can all benefit from. But most importantly, write it in the comments. Let us know what it is, one thing that you're no longer doing, so everybody collectively, myself included, can learn from this, and we can all actively avoid it. Maybe the most radical thing a woman can do in 2025 is stop fucking healing and traumatizing men back and leaving this whole self-development bullshit to the weirdos. We're unself-developmenting. We are not healing. We are traumatizing people back, and we are doing it looking good. It's been real. It's been great. And I will see you fuckers on Monday.